This week, I am in the throes of solo parenting. My husband is away on a business trip, and very fortuitously, this trip took him very close to where some extended family is. So he left a couple days early over the weekend so he could spend some time with family too, which is such a great gift for him. But it does mean, a couple extra days on my own with the kids, trying to juggle all the household stuff and all the schedules and get the kids everywhere that they need to go. On my own, it's been quite a juggling act. And as this week has gone on, I have gotten way less done than I had hoped to do and that I had prayed to do and that I had planned to do, because the reality is the demands of my primary vocation, serving my family, takes precedence over the work that I am called to do, my writing, and some of my other projects that I have going on. And so all of this kind of got me thinking about when God just says no. I have these dreams, I have these things that I'd like to be doing, and I'm not able to. And God is telling me no, because there are other things that need my attention more and that I need to spend my time doing right now instead of doing these other things that I'm excited about. And so sometimes when the Lord is telling us no, what he's really saying is not yet. I love St. Augustine has an explanation for this. And he says, so imagine that you have a bag and you see what needs to go into the bag and your bag isn't going to fit it. So then you set about stretching it. So you're pulling at the sides and stretching it to make it larger, to increase its capacity. And in the same way, Augustine explains, God does with us when he lets us wait for something. He is stretching our hearts and stretching our souls and increasing our desire and our longing, so that when God is ready to give us this gift that is much bigger than our current bags are, we will be able to hold it and embrace it and really enjoy it and revel in it. And so I think about that a lot when, when I have things that I am really looking forward to or things that I'm trying to work towards. And it's not happening because I feel like I keep getting held back by the family and all these things that I could be doing or should be doing, I can't do. I don't have the time for. But man, those desires are there and they are not diminishing. And so I believe this is God working in my heart to just get me more and more excited and more prepared for this huge gift that he has coming for me. But there are other times when God simply says no. It's not now, it's no. Maybe when we're praying for a miracle and for the healing of a loved one, or if we're praying for a spouse or a child and they simply don't come. Sometimes the Lord's answer is no. And that can be really, really difficult to hear for us faithful Christians, because we know that God can do anything. And then sometimes he just chooses not to. And as I was meditating on this week, I was just really sitting with the word no and what it is when God says no to us. My mind was drawn to think about Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane right before his passion, when he was praying to the Father and saying, Father, let this cup pass from me. I've heard a couple different explanations about why Jesus prays this, and the one that I love the most is that Jesus was fully human in that moment. We saw his lack of desire, his maybe even a little bit fear, trepidation about all of the pain and suffering that he knew that he was about to endure. And God the Father said no. God the Father did not remove the cup. It was the Father's will that Jesus go through his passion and be crucified and die. But we all know that the crucifixion is not the end. The death of Jesus is not the end. 3 days later, he had the resurrection, and we get to be an Easter people and celebrate in the resurrection because of Jesus's willingness to go through what he went through. There would be no Easter Sunday if there weren't a Good Friday. And we too are invited to live in this cycle of death and resurrection. And so when God is saying no to us, and if God is saying no to you, it could be that you might be going through your own passion and you may be facing your own crucifixion, and there may be something in your life, a desire or a hope or a dream or even a loved one who needs to die so that you can be filled with the resurrection, so that you can have your own Easter Sunday, so that you can live in the fullness of the dreams and the hopes and the gifts that God wants to give you. But it can be so, so hard when we hear that no in the moment. And so if you're going through a struggling time right now, know that my prayers are with you. I have been there so many times and wrestled with all of this myself. And knowing that the resurrection is coming, knowing that that death that we are encountering is not the end, whether it's a physical death or just a spiritual death of a dream or a hope or something that we have really, really prayed for and are not receiving, know that your resurrection is coming. So that's all I have for you today. I'm Maria Riley, just a sinner in the throes of trying to be a saint.